Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening and watching. If this video has found you, there's a message here for you, but please take what resonates and leave the rest. So today I want to talk to you about when it seems like God isn't answering your prayers. If you're not getting what you want, or if you didn't get what you want, it's because God had something better for you, or blessed you with something better, or whatever it is that you were praying for was not aligned with you. In other words, it's not meant for you. So, yes, your prayers will be answered, and the answer will be yes, as long as what you're asking for is something that you're aligned with, something that's meant for you. And God hears everyone's prayers, no matter who you are. I know I channel these messages about these karmics and these stupid ass people that harass us and try to do spell work on us and black magic and whatever. But God hears these people's prayers as well. Remember that we all come from God. You know, Wayne Dyer said something interesting in his book that I'm listening to. There's a spiritual solution to every problem. I actually linked it in the community last week as part of the Automobile University books. He says that everything comes from God. Either there's God or a lack of God. Either there's love or a lack of love. So anything that we see and perceive as evil, as negative, as low vibrational, it's simply something that has moved away from that God force, something that has distanced itself from love, but it's still God. So take that if it resonates. When it seems like God is not answering your prayers, that means that you are supposed to be surrendering and trusting. That is not easy to do, but I'm going to offer you some tips later on in this video, okay? God answers prayers in divine timing. Divine timing requires a sequence of events to happen before your blessing or the answer to your prayer can reach you. This has to happen before this has to happen. This person has to be obedient. This person has to go here. You have to go there, etc., etc. That's what divine timing is. We can also block or delay our answers or blessings because we introduce doubt into our intentions. And doubt is an intention itself. So if you're praying and asking God for a certain amount of money or for something to happen that would bless you and benefit you, but then you start to doubt that it's going to happen, or worse, you start to take action on that doubt, that's going to block and delay your blessing, okay? Sometimes we don't get what we want because we're being protected from some unseen danger or pitfall, right? Our angels, our ancestors, our guides, our spirit team, they protect us from dangers seen and unseen. They hear conversations that we don't hear. So we need to trust that if we're not getting what we want, that there is some protection in that. Sometimes it seems like we're getting the opposite of what we prayed for, or it seems like God is letting us down, or even that God is mad at us. But that's never, ever the case. Like I mentioned, some of us pray for things that we know are not in alignment with us, that we know don't belong to us. For example, your soulmate is not somebody else's husband, okay? You can't pray for bad things to happen to people. You can't pray for somebody's downfall and think that you're not going to get some sort of interference with that type of request, okay? You can't pray and ask for somebody else's destiny. If it's not in your soul's blueprint, if it's not your divine life purpose, if your archetype is not a teacher, a healer, a prophetess, or whatever, then you can't be that, okay? Remember that God is love, so God can never be angry with you, but there could be blocks that present because again, you're asking for something that is not in alignment with you and you know it. So that's an incongruency within yourself. And all incongruency is going to create some doubt. Okay. And we have to remember too that some of the storms of life come to clear our path so that we can be free from bondage. Maybe it's the bondage that's keeping us from receiving what it is that we want. Maybe we've gotten so used to the bondage, to feeling trapped, to feeling like we always have to be in survival mode. And so God, they will come in and create tower moments in our lives or chaos so that our path can be cleared, so that we can see things for what they really are and rebuild afresh and anew. We have to understand too that whatever problem we have in our life is never the real problem. It's simply an effect, a symptom, a manifestation of a deeper lesson that we need to learn. Remember that we all come to this planet because we have to learn lessons. This is Earth School. We come here to learn lessons. We also come here to teach lessons. Some of those lessons are financial ones. Some of them are relationships. Some of us have health issues. Some of us have a little bit of everything, right? But these are all lessons that we've come here to learn and teach, and often the subject matter of the majority of our prayers. So keep that in mind, okay? God will never put more on you than you can bear. Whatever it is you're going through that you're praying to get out of, you can handle it. You're in that season of life for the purpose of spiritual and personal development. It doesn't just happen. You have to work for it. And I get it. We get impatient, right? I'm a quadruple fire sign, okay? Patience is like a dirty word to me. So I understand. We get impatient, we make impulsive decisions, but that often gets us in a bigger mess than we were in before. So it's better for us to be patient, to trust our intuition and follow it, because that's what these tools are for. Patience and our intuition are the tools that we have to navigate the challenges and obstacles of life, right? Some of the tools. So I wanted to offer you some tips on how to surrender and trust. Trust the process, right? The first tip is to know that you are not separate from God. The same God that created you, that created everybody else in the universe and everything else in the universe, also lives in you and will supply all of your needs. You know, it's interesting when we think about God, often we get a visual of this white man sitting on a cloud with a beard, right? Something that's separate from us. And that is intentional, by the way. That image that we have, that we've all had impressed on us about what God looks like, that is intentional. And maybe I'll talk about that in another video. But understand that God is within you. And you can tap into this God source, this God force at any given time, even if it is asking for more patience, for more trust, for more understanding, for more discernment. It's all available to you, but you have to ask for it, right? The second tip is to distract yourself. You know, there's something to be said about doom scrolling. People say it's bad and all this other kind of stuff, but it definitely distracts you from whatever it is your problem is, whatever it is you're thinking about and ruminating over. So if push comes to shove and you just can't stop thinking about your problem or worrying, doom scrolling is very beneficial for that. Okay? Any type of distraction, whether that's reading, it should be a healthy one, I guess. But whatever can distract you and take your mind off of that problem is going to be helpful, because that is an act of surrendering. You're not thinking about it. So God can get in there and work, right? The third tip is repeating affirmations. And I've talked about this in other videos. Repeating to yourself over and over again that all of my needs are met. Everything comes to me in divine timing. I trust my intuition and I follow it. I trust in the processes of the universe. You can repeat these to yourself over and over again in your head 1,000 times a day, maybe. But I promise you, it will have an effect on your thinking and on your mood and on how you see the situation. Okay? The last tip is gratitude practices. When you're grateful, it speeds up the process of your manifestation. When you're grateful for what you already have, you're basically demonstrating to God that, yes, I see the evidence of the blessings that you've already given me. And you can think back on times when you didn't know what the fuck you were going to do. I know I can. And you're here now. You're out of that situation now. And so that's something to be grateful for. And that will speed up the process of manifestation because you understand that this too shall pass. And whatever you're asking for, if it's in alignment with you, you will have it eventually when the time is right. Okay? So I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.